Hey everybody, welcome back to our Texas Homestead. Today we're going to talk about some good old brisket. Okay, this one sold for originally $2.99 a pound, which is a $50 brisket, and it's right at 17 pounds. I got it on sale, so now it's $1.29 brisket per pound. So makes a big difference compared to $4 a pound hamburger meat. Everybody's talking about, I've seen several posts about brisket burgers and everything else. Well, this is going to give you about 80-20. Even if it's 75-25, you're still safe, you're still good. You don't really have to get rid of the fat caps or anything. Just slice it up and get it ready to go into a grinder. You'll save a ton of money on burger meat, make the best hamburgers you've ever had, and why go spend money for them to grind your meat? The money I save on grinding my own meat pays for my grinder and then pays me to do it. So after you get the grinder paid for, it's all easy money. You got to start saving. Obviously inflation isn't going down, and you've got to do something to save a little money, because I know everybody's grocery bills like mine, it's going up. So basically cutting it into strips, something that my grinder can handle. Okay. And if you think it's too fatty or whatever in a spot, cut some of it, cut it out. It's up to you. It's no big deal. Okay. Like this is going to be a fatty piece of meat, right? Tons of fat. But when I get to the center of this, there's not a lot of fat. You just cut a chunk off here so I can kind of show you. Looks like some very big bacon, but that's mainly meat. This is a little bit of silver skin. Your grinder, if you got a good grinder, it'll take it out. So let's save some money, make some amazing burgers, and have fun. So let me chop this up. I'll show you the strips I turned it into, and I'll bring you back so that way you're not just sitting here watching me cut up meat. Okay, this was a choice cut brisket. So for those of you who don't know, anything that is labeled choice, select, prime, all of that is U.S. beef. If it's not graded by the USDA, if choice, select, or prime, it can be from another country, and they don't have to tell you really. They don't have to. So I usually buy no less than select or choice. I do have a prime brisket out there that I plan on cooking up and surprising somebody with it. But if you see here, I did take out a few chunks of fat. I even have this little strap here I could cut some of the meat off of. But the reason I took those out is I want to keep most of the meat here as my meat, and if it doesn't have enough fat content in it after I grind it up, then I can add fat back. Okay, if you want, you can come in here, just fish fillet this thing, save some of this. What are you doing, buddy? My dog just sitting here laying on the ground and just looking up in between my legs going, hey, what are you doing? When are you going to drop something? And actually that's Patty's dog. So And you can get into some of the fats where you can say this, how it's grainy like this, has all the little bumpies in it, compared to fat like this. This is a lot harder. This takes more time to render down, but when you run it through a grinder, it's really not going to matter. Compared to this is the fat you love on a brisket when you're cooking a brisket. Okay. Now I'm going to set the fat over here in the bag that this brisket came out of, so I have it. And I have one more brisket to cut, but I got to get my work surface set up first. So, be back in a little bit. Okay, usually I have an olive oil sprayer out here that I use to lubricate the auger, but I can't find it. So, just taking some olive oil, putting it on a towel. Some people will tell you that they recommend freezing the auger, like this whole piece with the auger in it. I don't. I do come in and lubricate everything. That's the reason I like my sprayer, is because I can spray it back further. Good. You can reach, I mean, this is a Lim Big Bite. I think it's a 22, the model on it. You don't have to have a grinder this big. This is a 1.5 horsepower grinder. So, I mean, it's a stout grinder. So, but it does make it easier for me because we do so much grinding. Yes, the little blade faces backwards than what you think it would face. Make sure that's set. I'm not sure. It is. Got everything tight. Hands back off and get some gloves. So, like I said, I've seen, and I don't know why it's all coming up all of a sudden when I'm seeing so many posts about brisket hamburgers, but I've already done all those. But how about let's just making some good hamburger meat to do whatever and saving some money. A good grinder, just drop it in and it's going to pull it right through. Especially when it's whole pieces of meat. When I bring this back in, I'm going to need to probably have to plunge it with the plunger for it. It's hard to keep up with how fast it can pull it in. This one right here is like a chili size. Currently, it won't stay that way. That was 17 pounds of brisket right there. That quick. So let me get it set up for the next run. And I know it looks fatty now, but wait till after the next run and you'll see what it really looks like. And as I was saying, it will catch a lot of the silver skin and everything on it. This is where it catches it, right in behind the blade. That's a lot of your silver skin and just straight out fat. All right, now here's our hamburger one. And I got my plunger in case I need it. And if you feel that if you're looking at it and you think the meat's still too fatty, which I don't really, you can always trim up your second brisket and make it where it has almost no fat on it, and you can mix them together. So, $1.27 a pound hamburger meat. Just with a little bit of work. Why pay the butcher to do it for basically $3 a pound or more, or $2.50 or more? And to be honest with you, brisket burgers are really, really good. You can, I'll show you how we vacuum seal them and everything. We'll do it in 1 pound pieces, so that way we can get 1 pound of hamburger meat at a time. Or you can pre-make up your burgers if you want. That's up to you. So you figure I'm going to have, this one's 44 pounds right out of meat, of brisket that I bought. I have another brisket sitting here I have to do. And what is that, 50, 60 bucks I saved? Basically grinding it myself. $2.50 a pound times 40 pounds, let's just call it 40. It's $100 bucks. So, how many times doing this would it take you to pay for your grinder? Not many. And you know what you're getting that way. You know, if you're getting choice meat, select, prime from China, because the U.S. does get a lot of meat from China, whether you know it or not. And right now it's running a little slow. I may have a little blockage here, and if I do, I'll turn it off, take off the ring, reset it, make sure everything's seated right, make sure there's no big chunks of fat like this was in there earlier. And get it taken care of. So, I'll get all this ground up, get the next one going, and bring it back. We'll bag some stuff up. Okay. If you want to get rid of some fat, this is the second one. This one was right at 20 pounds. But if you want to get rid of some fat, the easiest way to, when you're doing it, is slice it down and then come in and just cut out some. This here, come in and get this center cut of fat out. Don't try to get it all out because you're gonna need it. Because if you took all this one with being fat and this one with no fat, you're gonna have some really dry burgers. Okay. And there you go. Leave some fat on it. Don't trim it all out. You're going to regret it if you do. Loading up the grinder for the second run, or for the second one. And a good sharp knife, let me tell you, makes a huge difference. This is a Victorinox knife. I love it. I've got a Dexter knife down here. I look for this over that I look for the Victorinox over that Dexter all day. See, that don't go all the way through. That one goes all the way through. So if you wanted to come here, take that center cut out, and then leave. If you want it, yeah, you can even take part of that out if you want. Leave the rest. Don't want no dry burgers or hamburger meat. Right now we're making, what are we making? Some tacos for dinner. This one, if you wanted to, just come in and kind of scan it. If you're trying to get rid of fat. Okay. That way you can take that chunk, get rid of that chunk, keep those chunks. Just trying to give y'all different ways to do it. Okay. Grinder will take that one. Leaving that one. And I try to get all the meat I can get. Get rid of the fat if I want. This one I wanted to cut up with less fat content in it for you, not for me. And if I need to go back and add fat, guess what? I got fat sitting there on those bags for me to add fat back. Okay? So, that's how you do that. That's how you get it trimmed up and ready to go. Alright guys, let's bring it down. We got basically 30 pounds of hamburger meat out of that with the fat that I cut out of the one. So that was a 16, 17 pound and then a 19.8, almost 20 pound. So with all the fat we cut out, this is what we ended up with, right at 30 pounds. And all sealed up. Battery dead. All right, still got 30 pounds out of it. I will do a review on our vacuum sealer. Compared to the one we had, I'll have to get the name of it, but it's just like a little generic food, whatever. Food saver, yeah. That it would take us hours and hours to get all these bags sealed from where you double seal each side of it, because this one seals You can see it. It's got 2 bars in it. It's a double seal. It's like 3 millimeters wide. It does it in 1 stroke, so saves a lot of time. The other one would overheat and everything else. It would, I mean, it would vacuum down pretty decent. We did have some bags that would lose seal, but this one so much faster, and it did not overheat 1 time. Not once out of doing all these bags. So I'll do a review on it and let y'all know about that. Hope you liked it, guys, gals. It's a great way to save a bunch of money on hamburger meat. And brisket hamburgers are a whole lot better tasting than your regular ground beef. Hope you enjoyed the video again. We'll see you next time.